galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the Imperium of man. This is the Age of Darkness. Welcome to the Remembrancers Retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the Vengeful Spirit.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Remembrancers Retreat podcast, a Horus Heresy Specialist Games podcast set in the Age of Darkness, but I think that's Battlefleet Heresy Lost Transmissions.
Yep, it's all blended together now.
Oh, God.
Jesus, Jesse.
I was editing this morning, forgive me.
Yeah, Jesse doesn't really sleep anymore, guys.
No. It's the busy season at my work.
Yeah.
So
For you, maybe.
Y'all hear me complain about it periodically, 6 days a week, 12-hour days, and I'm an hour away from work. But here we are.
So really, it's a 13-hour day.
Yeah, 14, yeah. Anyway,
well, 14 if you count the drive back.
Yep. We've
And I do.
And I do too. But managed to carve out some time for you guys so we can have another episode. A few things have been taking place while I've been sleeping in the daytime like a vampire. Book 9 got an FAQ for just the Dark Angels, which I find kind of interesting, but we'll talk
Suck
about
it,
that.
Night Lords.
The Word Bearers got their own Praetor models released today, actually, so I'm going to date this episode. And also the Titans got Volkite weapons.
Woo!
We're going to talk about all of that and maybe more on this episode.
Well, cool.
Hooray!
Who are you? Usually
My
you
name is
introduce
Jesse.
yourself.
My name is Jesse. I'm here today with Austin and Steven.
Hello.
Hi.
So let's get right into it.
All right.
So I think it was about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, there was a silent stealth release of an FAQ and rules clarification for the Horus Heresy Book 9 Crusade. It just covers Dark Angels. Overall, definitely some improvements. Nothing really got nerfed at all from what I can see.
Yeah, it all looks like clarification and quality of life.
Yeah, and the Storm of War got better, which is weird because I didn't hear a lot of complaints about Storm of War. I wasn't really complaining about Storm of War, but so I will definitely take improvements and pretty much buffs where necessary.
No.
But let's start at the top with the Deathwing Companion Detachment. They replaced the entry for dedicated transports with the following. That a Deathwing Companion Detachment may take a Legion Rhino Armored Carrier or Legion Land Raider Proteus as a dedicated transport. If the detachment is upgraded to a Terminator Companion Detachment, then it may select a Legion Spartan Assault Tank as a dedicated transport. So, the previous entry, pretty much the same, but they've added the ability to take Terminator Companions, which I'm all about. And they're like, they could take a Spartan Assault Tank.
Yeah, because everybody
default.
needs another $280 tank model.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Which, I mean, can't the people taking the Stormwing, you get Spartans, don't you?
If you take models of 20 strong or...
Yeah, so you just... everybody's in a Spartan.
Everybody's in a Spartan.
Don't tell Jason.
Sick.
The Firewing, instead of getting hatred characters in their list, they got preferred enemy characters, which is good.
Improvement.
Yep, because Firewing already has hatred by default, so now we have hatred and preferred enemy characters.
Get those ones rerolled. Which, I mean, preferred enemy is long-term probably better than hatred anyway, so...
Right, hatred only works on the first turn anyway, right?
Mm-hmm, and it's only to hit. Preferred enemy allows you to reroll those ones to wound. Although, even with this, I'm still not entirely sold on Enigmati Cabal. They're easily, like, the least great special unit for the army. I mean, and that's kind of like saying you're the dumbest person at a Mensa meeting, right? They're still really cool. But it's just, there's only 3 of them, so they can't really, like, carve through tar pits to get to their target, and they're going to bounce off and get absolutely mauled by anybody, by, like, a Terminator Death Star.
And they don't have assault grenades, which is still
Yep.
kind of weird.
Just begging for death.
Now, with that being said, maybe one of you guys can answer. If they take a grenade launcher with stasis frag and crack shells, that still doesn't count as assault grenades, right?
Correct.
It does not,
Yep. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
because your life is hard.
Yeah. So I'm not. I mean, I guess I don't know. They just don't have a lot of attacks for as few of them as there are. There's only 3 of them, and you can't take any more, right?
Correct. For
Yeah.
150 points, which it's not.
They are cheap though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like,
they got
they're
that
not-
going for them.
This is one of those rare units that excels in super small games, right? Like, you got a 1,000-point Zone Mortalis game, and suddenly running around with 3 models that can absolutely murder like 10 Space Marine equiv, no problem. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't actually think of that. That's actually really cool. Their build is like an assassin unit, and but they're not like in big scale games. They're not that great at assassinating, but in small games, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
hard
man.
to assassinate someone when he's got 1,000 other dudes around him, right? Like,
Yeah, but
this
if
is
it's
for
just
knifing
him,
those 5 guys in a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, check this out. Remember, with their jump packs, they can't be targeted by Overwatch if they use it during the assault phase.
yep, that's true.
Suck it, Zone Mortalis.
And they got a default 5-up cover save, which is pretty handy as well.
Yeah, which is good because in Zone Mortalis, anything with strength 4 or higher automatically gains rending, so they could use that. That's
Well,
for sure.
depending on
Higher-
the scenario.
Wait, strength 4 or higher or higher than 4?
4 or higher. Bolters get rending in Zone Mortalis because of the hard vacuum rule.
If you're playing with the
How
hard
did I
vacuum
not
rule.
know?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Man, how
It's
did I miss that?
no atmosphere to slow those puppies down. They're just punching right through you.
It doesn't matter if they hurt you or not, right? It's strength 4 is assumed to be enough to put a little, tear in your armor, and guess what?
You did.
You might get sucked out through it.
Yep. Yep.
That's fair.
Well,
I guess
now
I
I'm
never
super
played
into
with
the
the
idea.
Zero in a vacuum before. So
It's a lot of fun. That and the playing on the exterior of a ship hull where guys can just get like knocked
Flung
off
off into space.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good time.
Yep. I really now I'm super into the idea of like a boarding action firewing force. It's just 1,000 points. It's some firewing like operator and his dudes headed for the bridge. And some,
how many
some
fast attack can you
quaking
take
little.
in a?
How many what?
How many fast attack can you take in a Zone Mortalis combatant? I don't know.
Probably 2. 2 at the most, I would think. I don't know. But like you can still use Rites of War in Zone Mortalis. So you just bring a dude and make him your Seekers and Firewing. Oh, in Zone Mortalis? That's so cool. Oh man, here I go,
welcome.
starting another army again.
You're welcome. Although I thought you said you were never going to play a loyalist army.
I can play Traitor Dark Angels.
And here
Half
you
of
were
them are
making-
evil.
and here
Half
you
of them
were
have
making fun
little
of me for that trope.
fake goatees,
Not
spirit
5
glued to their
minutes
beaky
before
helmets.
we started recording.
Well,
Jesus.
anyway,
All right. Dreadwing Interrupters. They made a little bit of clarification that for dedicated transports, an Interruptor squad numbering 10 or fewer models may take a Land Raider Proteus as a dedicated transport.
yeah. Previously, didn't it have some weird like, if they can all fit inside the Proteus, they can take it.
It had to number exactly 10 models.
Yeah.
So, and by default, there's 5. So you don't need the full 10-man complement. And now you can run around.
Success.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody hating on the Proteus, and then somebody at corporate was like, "Hey, those tanks are expensive. You should make it easier for people to buy them."
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone hates on that dumb little potato tank until it scouts up and 10 Interrupters jump out and just hose you down with plasma.
AV-14 with a couple las cannons isn't nothing.
I've never hated on the Proteus.
Plus, I think they can take the what's that?
The Explorator.
Yeah, exactly.
The augury
Yeah.
array.
Yep. Although I still prefer the Phobos because I like to assault. But
Well, you shouldn't be
That's just
assaulting
me.
with Interrupters. They don't even have combat blades, do they?
that's true.
Yeah. The Proteus is perfect for them.
Shit, they don't. No, they got combat weapons, but they suck in an assault.
Yeah, take 5 of them, put them in there with the augury array, scout up, jump out, plasma time, and then just spend the rest of the game fucking with people's reserves.
It's fair.
Yep.
Corswain got an update, and this is for those people. Corswain's weapon, the blade, is considered to be a sword for the purposes of the Mastery of the Blade Legion special rule. We got it. All right?
For those of you that were being that asshole.
Yep. Yep, and you know who you were.
Yeah.
Sitting here squinting
They're
through
gonna
my
try
microphone.
and fake it, but guess what? The internet is forever.
That's right. Until singularity happens, and it's taken away from us anyway.
It's one of those situations where they could have just said anything modeled as swords, like they did originally, counts to this rule. But
Well, we couldn't make things too easy, could we?
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Nerds on the internet need something to complain about. Apparently it's female vampires.
Well, and also the zombies, because the old zombies were terrible, and the new zombies are also terrible, ? But that's straying dangerously close to commenting about Age of Sigmar stuff, and we're not that podcast.
No, I'm done giving the trolls their thing. Marduk Cedrus. His special rule, Ancient of War, may not be used if he begins the game embarked on a transport vehicle, and its effects are not gained by friendly units that are themselves embarked on transport vehicles if it is used. Which, read as written, that's kind of how it worked to begin with, but I guess we need some clarification.
Like, always some motherfucker trying to skate uphill.
But
what is his rule?
So the Ancient of War, at the start of the game, after deployment, but before the first turn has begun, the controlling player may select a single faction from the allies in the Age of Darkness table, including either the agents of the Emperor Warmaster that is represented in the enemy army, both Marduk Cedras and any friendly units with the Legionis Astartes Dark Angel special rule that have more than half of the units models within 6 inches of him gain the preferred enemy chosen faction special rule for the duration of the game. If Marduk Cedras is in reserve, this special rule has no effect.
I mean, he can't ride in a car to do it.
Once again, offended that this needed to be an FAQ.
Yeah. Models within him, last time I checked, if you're in a tank, you don't really give a buff or anything like that.
Except for maybe those super hardcore people that, all their rhino hatches, like everything's fully functioning and they actually have the Marduk Cedrus model inside. That's what I'm going to tell
model
myself.
that's sitting on the bench.
Yeah. Now, I think, in 6th edition, that was a thing.
It was, yeah.
Like, buffs that, and a model gave, you expanded out with the tank, if I remember right.
The aura. Yep.
But that hasn't been around for a couple of years now.
We'll not talk about how long ago 6th edition.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
At least 11 years ago.
Maybe not that far.
No, because I graduated high school in 2010, spent a year in Arizona, came back in 2011.
Yeah, no, but I started 6th edition. I was, oh my god, it's been 11 years.
Yeah, and then I bought Chaos Space Marine 6th edition with Dark Vengeance in 2011.
Wow. But anyway.
We just aged ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Lionel Johnson. Now, let's see. A unit of Deathwing Companions may be included. And, they can be upgraded to Terminator Companions as well. So, and when determining if the line may be taken in a given army, as per the Lords of War 25% rule, do not count the cost of a Deathwing Companion unit selected as part of the special rule. Which, let me verify that. Let's see, Deathwing Companions? Yeah, okay, so he used to get Deathwing Companions as well, but now he can also take Deathwing Terminator Companions, like most other Primarchs with command squads.
Yeah, if you're not running Terminators next to your Primarch, what are you doing with your life?
Yep, which is now cool and fluffy, because one of the covers, I think it was Angels of Caliban? Yeah, had him with some Terminators going to town on Kurs, so good times. And
that was short and simple.
Mm-hmm. And the last one is they kind of not rewrit, but added some stuff to the Rite of War, Storm of War. So I'm just going to really read the changes that they made. I'm not going to go through the whole thing.
That can be found in our Dark Angels episode, Rite of War.
Yep. Or page 160 of Book 9. Let's see. When Masters of Storm of War when you purchase a Centurion, it does not use up a separate force organization slot now, which is nice. It just goes straight to your troop unit, which is sweet. The Gathering Storm Clouds. A detachment using this Rite of War may include an additional 4 non-compulsory troop choices in addition to those already part of the force organization chart in use. That's right, you can get a maximum of 200 tactical boys.
Glorious.
It is like, what are you guys trying to be? Militia?
Just plain epic in 32 scale, basically.
Right?
Yeah, 28mm epic.
Yeah, get
complete
out those
with officer
apocalypse
upgrades.
movement trays.
Mm-hmm.
Whiskey's offended.
Whiskey doesn't approve of
Yeah.
movement trays for 28mm Space Marines, apparently.
Well,
Sorry,
we've all got
guys.
opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's and each of them. So each of those additional 4, right, can be tacticals and can therefore have
Another Centurion.
Centurions. Good lord, that's
Tactical
so
or
many.
Assault Squad.
That's so
You'll be
many.
the only person at the mega battle using one
Actually,
force org chart.
let's see. Hang on, let me see. No, you could take other than tactical or assault because it's non-compulsory slots.
Oh, yeah.
And
You can't attach Centurions to them.
yep, you're correct. You're correct.
Well,
Well,
your
what
fir-
could have been?
Yeah, only your first 4. You can't take
But
all
still,
8.
that's 4
Yeah.
more combat monsters that are running around.
Exactly.
4 more Terminator Centurions. Just, hey, guess what? You're playing 3rd Edition Chaos Space Marines again, and all of your squads are led by a Terminator champion.
The greatest hits.
Yep. Which I actually... That's a pretty cool throwback right there.
Mm-hmm.
What's that guy doing? Bouncing off all of your bullets?
So for Marshal of the Storm, when they launch their special rule for their tactical, the orders also affect the Centurion as well now.
Oh, neat.
And no given unit able to benefit from more than one order in any turn, which I feel like that's what that was mentioned before.
yeah.
Oh no, that's weird. The Centurion used to also get the order effect as well. So hang on, order effects.
No, you're right, because I got very excited that you could have multiple orders like interacting in a single unit until you found something that was like, no, that can't happen, and I was very sad.
It's weird. They have it highlighted in magenta, but I don't see the difference. So I'm going to read. All right. So I'm going to read the old one. Orders affect the issuing model and the unit it has joined, with no given unit able to benefit from more than one order in any turn. Once an order has been successfully issued to a unit in any given turn, any further orders issued to it in that turn automatically fail. And the new one, orders affect...
Yeah, that's exactly the same.
That's it, word
Yeah.
for word.
Yeah, I looked at it word for word where you were saying it. Yeah.
So I don't know why that's magenta, but...
Just... They
The
want
tech
you
priest,
to be real...
the tech priest responsible has been turned into a servitor.
This is real important. Don't fuck it up, guys.
No. Maybe it's just to highlight, like, hey, by the way...
Yeah, might just be there to make
Yeah,
it look
we had
important.
to point out that the guy's sword is in fact a sword for rules purposes. See what y'all are doing.
Yeah. Hold the line. Let's see. They had a little clarification. Not necessarily debuff, but for hold the line, this special rule does not stack with any other instances of feel no pain special rule. And if a unit has another feel no pain special rule, the controlling player must choose one to use. So, hold the line gives them a 6-up feel no pain. And it didn't say anything about stacking before.
Yeah, so like,
this is more of a clarification, which, a lot of feel no pains will stack.
yeah,
but-
so like I would view this as technically a debuff because I think the assumption is that they stack until you're told they don't.
I don't know. 'Cause I've always assumed that they don't stack until you're told they do, even though the majority do say that.
That's why I'm whacking your nut. But I will say, considering like the militia version of grant everybody a 6-up feel no pain says you can't use any other version, it's nice that this one lets you pick.
Mm-hmm. And finally, any unit that consists of a single model with the independent character special rule does not count as an additional unit for the purposes of this rule. A unit that consists of a single model with the independent character special rule does not count as an additional unit for the purposes of this rule. Oh, this army must... Okay, sorry. I gotta read more than just a magenta this time. This army must include more Legion assault squads or tactical squads combined than the total number of all units selected. Independent characters that are bought as a single model do not count, which is sweet. So your Praetor doesn't have to balance out with a whole tactical squadron. Yeah. And all models bought as part of a Tech Marine Covenant or Apothecarian detachment count as a single unit, regardless of how many they are attached to other units prior to deployment. So yeah, it's a lot easier to build this army now.
Excellent, because it does seem like a fun list.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know me. I'm an infantry guy, so being able to bring 200 of them is great.
Yep, you're just playing Epic, and you just didn't know it.
Oh, I knew it. It's all part of my long con.
To get everybody playing Epic.
So yeah, the Dark Angels got some love here. No clarifications or anything for the Night Lords. I find it a little strange. I'm sure there's a few things that could be
well, the only
clarified.
The only reason that I can think of is that Night Lords players are just universally smarter than Dark Angels players and don't need an FAQ to explain things that should have been obvious.
Damn.
Oh, man, you're lucky I just woke up.
Just damn.
Yep. Night Lords players got released years ago, so they just
let's go over to the Night Lords Facebook group and
let's not say we
let's
did.
Look and see how much smarter. I'm sure they're just, as everyone is on Facebook, just beacons of civility.
Beacons of goodwill.
Paragons of intellectual integrity.
Yep. Well, here we are.
Not all Night Lords players.
Not all Night Lords. Well, here we are, almost a year after the release of Book 9, and we're still getting updates for it.
It's only 6 months.
Heresy is alive.
Yep. Episode 194, the secret Book 9 FAQ episode. Gotcha.
Hey, two new models and a FAQ is more than half the 40k armies can say they got in this past year. I'll tell you what.
That's true. Rip Dark Angels. I mean, not Dark Angels, Dark Eldar. Did I say Dark Angels? No. Yeah. I meant an army that nobody plays.
I mean, the Dark Eldar just got a release, a week ago? 2 weeks? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
Phoenix? Blood of the Phoenix was like at the beginning of last year.
Wait, what?
Time is an illusion. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Blood of the Phoenix was forever ago. In hobby terms, Blood of the Phoenix was 2 editions ago. That's how long ago it was. And they didn't even get new models, which, I guess, hey, welcome to Xeno Salt Hour. They just got resculpts. In plastic, which admittedly is an improvement over Incubi in a fine cast.
Ooh.
Yep.
Well, on to happier news, shall we?
Yeah.
Titanic ass.
Titan talk. Titan talk.
There we go. Yep. This one was
going
sneaky.
to be my Titan's Warhorn, just eternally.
It's not already?
So, Titans it's not out yet, because when is anything ever out the moment they start talking about it with DW nowadays?
It's probably stuck sideways in the Suez Canal right now. That's right, dear listeners.
Unless that guy, everybody's like, oh my God, that guy, like he accidentally put his container ship sideways in the Suez Canal. I'm like, you realize he drew a dick before going into the canal, right? Like,
I don't think he did that on accident.
This might not have been on accident. I'm just saying, it's kind of hard to crash one of these.
It's called
sideways.
a holding pattern, Austin.
Yeah. So for those of you listening in the future, right, post May 2021,
ignominy, and nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
So like in the next week.
In March of 2021, a dude took his megatanker, drew a dick with radar, and then got it stuck sideways in the Suez Canal, which, if you're
Tokyo
unfamiliar,
drifting, just as massive.
If you're unfamiliar with what the Suez Canal is, if the Suez Canal even still exists when you're listening to this, it's a big, it's an entrance to the Mediterranean Sea, I believe.
Yep. From
it's
the Red
super
Sea.
important for world trade. Super important.
Yeah.
The jam is costing an estimated $400 million an hour.
An hour? Holy shit.
10% of the world's maritime goods traffic is being blocked up by one ship. And to make things even better in this year of our Lord 2021, when we're all obsessed with sea shanties, everybody else has now resorted to going around the Horn of Africa like it's the 1700s. Blue star tattoos for everybody.
So
dear
ridiculous.
listener,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm laughing. It's probably not terribly funny, but
oh no, it's funny.
It's funny. It's hilarious.
Right now, as we speak, I think on day 3 of it being stuck there, there is currently one guy with a cat trying to dig it out.
Yep, he's just trying his best.
I see the picture. You go, man.
Yeah. So
you earned that paycheck.
In 2030, 2040, wherever you are, when you look back at the great Volkite riots of 2022, know that it was because some dude stuck his tanker sideways in the Suez Canal. Now, moving on.
Volkite.
Volkite, yeah, it's wild.
Titan-sized Volkite.
We have never seen, to my knowledge, Volkite even mentioned on Titan. So this really was out of left field, and it looks glorious.
Yeah, it was from the Engine Kill article that Warcom runs, once a month, every 2 weeks, something like that. And, they talked about some stuff. Hopefully, I was looking for a War Master release date, which here it is, March 2021, and all of my War Masters are stuck sideways in the Suez Canal. But they just kind of snuck up on us with this Volkite. It wasn't anything. It was just, hey, guess what? Volkite. And everyone's happy.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a hell of a release, a hell of a article as well, because normally you just get it'll be a really cool weapon. Here's one special rule. They laid out everything but the price point in dollars and points for game, which is awesome because you can already kind of start math hammering out how many you want and which ones that you want and all of that sort of stuff, which I don't doubt we'll get into here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But the basics. So there are 2 types. There is the Warlord Volkite Destructor, and then there is the Volkite Eradicator, which is the arm mount for a Warhound or a Carapace mount for a Reaver. They both have 3 dice. They have a range of 20 inches for the little version and 24 for the Warlord. And they have the Voidbreaker 2 trait, which is outstanding. So what happens is any hit you score with these does an additional 2 hits on shields. So if your enemy has shields and you hit it once, it needs to make 3 shield saves.
Oh, no. I was reading that as 2 saves.
No, an additional 2.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this has, most Titans are BS3, right? Unless something's gone wrong.
Or good.
So your average is 6 shield saves. And it could be 9. And, that throw 2 of these on a Warhound, right? And I'm sure at some point there's going to be a thing that lets you, you can reroll your attack dice or whatever it is that your Legio is throwing out there, can just make this distressingly good, which is a lot of fun. Now, it's not high strength. It's strength 5 for the little one, strength 6 for the big one, which they talk about these being used against knights, and that's just not how you play this game. But it's fewer shots than the Warhound's Mega Bolter or Carapace Mega Bolter. But then we get to this beam trait. But it's a nice dichotomy between do you want this or a Mega Bolter? Because at first glance it looks like they're essentially the same thing, right? They're both kind of low strength. They're really good for stripping shields. With the Mega Bolter, you only have 6 dice, but 6s get you 2 hits, so you could generate as many saves as the Volkite. It's just not as reliable. But then again, when you get under somebody's shields and you're fishing for that one last point of damage on an enemy engine, do you want 3 shots at strength 5 or 6 at strength 4? There are games to be played. So this, a little bit better at stripping shields, a little bit worse at finishing off somebody who doesn't have any, but certainly a place for both in your list.
So I was actually thinking about that, and I think the Volkite wins out, point cost pending, because while yes, the Bolter is universally good at stripping shields and executing someone with that last point of damage, right? Because you've definitely done it more than enough times to me. But between some of the light maniples that give bonuses to coordinated strike, the extra point in strength that the Volkite automatically has probably pushes the Volkite into the take this territory, right? Because it's better at shields because of Shield Breaker or Void Breaker. And then when you start piling on all those bonuses from coordinated strike, rear armor, legio traits, etc.,
I mean, you're right. Like if you're taking
then the less shots doesn't really matter.
Yeah, if you're taking a Lupercal, this is suddenly strength 7, which
because it's going to be the difference between
Warlord, but
all the extra bonuses that you can add on make the difference between a 4-up to do that point of damage or a 3-up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And, makes it that much more likely that you'll be able to get that critical hit on somebody. Which you just can't do critical hits with a poor Warhound's Bolter.
Now the downside being is that it's probably not as good at called shots. And I do wonder what kind of accuracy penalties or bonuses it's going to get once it starts to get in short range, if anything at all.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, it's just a big microwave laser, right? So But then again, if it's one of those like, hey, it's +1 at long range and +1 at short range, suddenly you're like, But there is one more rule that's just for the Warlord version of this, and it has the beam trait, which, hooray, there's finally another weapon with the beam trait besides the Psi Titan.
Yay, eat your heart out, Falchion Super Tank.
Right?
Or Glaive?
The Glaive, yeah.
Yeah.
So the beam rule, for those of you that don't own a Psi Titan, you don't roll to hit. Instead, you pick a target and draw an imaginary straight line 1 millimeter wide from the weapon up to its maximum range, and it must cross the base of the target at the point closest to the firing model. And then the closest unit to the firing unit, whose base is under the line, suffers a number of hits equal to the weapon's dice value. If that unit is destroyed, the next closest unit suffers a number of hits equal to the weapon's dice value minus the number of brackets after the trait to a minimum of 0. And we don't know what that is, because this is just beam X right now.
No, it's beam 1.
I'm sorry,
Warlord's
it's beam
Volkite
1.
Destructor can be fired as beam 1.
Sorry, it's beam 1. You're right. And they're like, oh, this is really great for killing all of the knights that pester your existence.
No, it's not.
Firmly no. The thing that kills knights is anything strength 10 or greater, because, if they get a shield save, that is essentially a wasted shot. Just when you do the math between whatever their shield save is, and then you have to actually roll an armor value to do damage, it's not what we do. You hit them with heavy strength things, and this is only strength 6. That being said, what I think the trick for this isn't, because it's really hard, right? The thing has to go down before it can hit the next model in line. But what this does do is, you've got that pesky Warhound that's been dueling your Warlord, and it's just like a Reaver that's sitting in heavy cover trying to get under your shields or something. You just hit him with the beam weapon. you don't roll to hit.
Yeah.
Who cares if you're in heavy cover? Like, suck microwave.
Boeam.
Set to defrost.
Time cook cold pizza.
Oh, now I just see a Princeps just typing into a microwave.
No, yeah, it's the tech priest back there who's just like, he opens the door, he types the button, he closes the door, the gun fires.
God, the future is beautiful.
Yeah, but I super am looking forward to it, especially as an Infernus player. I like my heat-based weapons, and I was telling the other guys when we were looking at this article together originally, like, I wonder if come the Traitor Legions book, when everybody gets like a little bit of gets collated and updated, if they're going to, etc., if Volkite guns are going to be included in Legio Infernus's Mastery of Flame rule, which allows a Titan to fire either Flamestorm cannons or Melta cannons twice at the cost of draining the second shot. And I think the exact wording on it is weapons with like the fire or the Melta in the name or something like that. Like it doesn't specifically name weapons by type so much as, or by name, so much as by like general theme.
Yeah, the
so
special.
It'd be really cool if I could double tap Volkites into fools and just turn everybody into ash.
With that in mind, they've been doing, they've hit damn near every permutation of Titan Legio traits you can think of. And now there's a new weapon for them to do all of that. This is the Legio that loves X stuff.
This is the Volkite Legio. Everybody's Volkite hits one more time with Voidbreaker, or hits at +1 strength, additional range. Kind of makes me wonder if Crusading Legios are going to get yet another update. Like, once all of the weapon releases I've completed, and now that we have these Volkites, like, I didn't think we were going to get any more weapon releases. I thought this was pretty much going to be it, what we have.
Paying attention to the old Titanicus like stuff.
I mean, I know that there's like big defense lasers and big rocket pods and like landing pads and stuff, but
wrecking balls and assault arms and.
Well, I should say I didn't think we were going to get anything for Reavers, Hounds, and Warlords. I thought everything else was going to be for the War Master, maybe something else for Hounds. But like I felt that Reavers and Warlords were in a pretty good place as far as selection of weapons goes.
I'll go with that. If you told me that new weapons were coming out, I would just assume it didn't apply to the Warhound, because they've got the two,
They've got their generalist weapon. They've got their precision weapon. They've got their armor breaking weapon. Like,
well,
it's all there.
They've already got two from Forge World, right?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So like, But
so
they
now
got this, and suddenly it fills a niche I didn't know the Warhound needed.
Yeah, this Ultimate Shield Breaker Warhound Edition, because double bolters wasn't enough.
Right.
This is going to be atrocious.
But a nice balancing act for the War Master too.
Yeah.
Well, I bet the War Master will probably be able to mount these on its carapace, the same way it does like other Reaver class weapons, or Hound class weapons, I should say. Oh man, that'll be cool.
Well, just imagine a Hound with like double Volkite running around in a Regina maniple.
I don't want
all the warlords they don't bother about stripping shields because they know the Hound will do it in a turn. So double Bellicosa,
They take the big heavy weapons on top. Yeah, and now because again, this came completely out of left field. I'm wondering what else is coming. Like, are we going to get Titan-sized graviton weapons?
Look, all I got to say is they already mentioned the giant ball and chain Wrecker Titans like 3 times now.
Yeah, they're in Titan Death.
Yeah. So,
Titanicus has one. Titan Death has one. Presumably Mortis has one.
Knocking back and spinning people around.
Yeah, there's one from before the Solar War series, yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be super cool. Super cool. I want Graviton Titan weapons is what I want, because not only do Knights have little Volkite weapons, those Knight Majoras have Volkite whatever dumb word for ancient Napoleonic level artillery they picked out for them. But they have graviton. They got the little pintle-mounted graviton guns, and so it would be cool to see Titan, some Warhound running up on somebody with a Warhound-sized graviton gun, just boop, concussive, ha-ha, run away.
Super rude.
No. Big Volkite gun for the Warbringer, a graviton gun for the Warbringer.
It'd be good.
Yeah, I'm about it. Makes me wonder what the War Master is going to get. Is there a Volkite equivalent for the War Master? Like an arm mount? Just the absolute biggest Volkite weapon they could find? Are they going to start putting Ordinatus guns on Titans? Like, what's going to happen?
Specifically, no. But
I mean, stuff that we typically
wonders.
think of as Ordinatus. Like, is there some sort of sonic weapon that's in development for Titans now? Yeah. The Volkite is the key to a world of super weird Titan weapons.
It's true, and I'm here for it.
I want melee carapace weapons. That's what I want. Just a big ball on a chain that the Reaver swings at the waist. Uses it like some sort of deadly hula hoop. It'll be great.
Yeah, it just doubles the range of the thing out to like 4 inches. Ignores shields because, well,
BAP
it's just,
can only hit
it's
the
just
head.
hitting you with the Bane blade.
Yeah, I'm about it. I'm here for it. But until they get that Suez Canal thing finished, we're probably not getting them for a while.
Yep, stock up on toilet paper. It's all stuck in the Suez Canal.
Yep. Maybe they could throw the toilet paper over the side and soak up all the water in the canal?
That will just make the problem worse, Stephen.
The point is try to get out.
Yes.
Well, then they need to take all the bottled water that's undoubtedly on the tanker and just empty it into the canal.
That is what they need to do.
That's exactly what they need to do.
I'm sure all the gasoline that thing runs on can probably float it if they just empty that into the lock.
That's not. It's estimated to be, so far $33 billion of global economy has been I don't know what happens to it. I mean, the money goes somewhere.
It's gone. It just disappears.
No longer
They're like Chuck E. Cheese tokens. They're not good anymore.
Just because the Evergiven just decided to Tokyo drift into the side of the Suez Canal.
somebody at fucking Deutsche Bank just burning euros.
We gotta balance it out.
It's still there. Send in another wheelbarrow.
Yeah. I wonder if this guy, accidentally, okay, so whether or not he did it accidentally, because he did draw the dick, right? But
I really hope not, because otherwise this guy is out of a job for the end of time.
Yeah.
He'd
but
be
did
in jail, probably.
How do you plan blocking the Suez Canal?
It was my understanding that he ran aground somehow, and then the wind, or it was either the wind took him off course, because they did have some serious windstorms that I saw.
Mm-hmm. So it's the wind's fault.
It's the wind. Yeah, you can blame
Nuke the
God.
wind.
Blame God.
I didn't do this. God did this. Don't blame me. Blame God.
Actually, a lot of people are trying to blame God, and a lot of insurance companies are like,
Acts of God.
That's what it is. Act of God, not covered. Sorry.
Yep.
Damn. They'll get it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, you thought them not paying for your fucking fender was a pain in the ass. Boy, I tell you what.
Imagine the Suez Canal.
Vesselfinder.com is very fascinating, because you can look at...
They're going around the Cape of Africa like it's the pirate times.
We're all pirates.
And there
again.
is the pirate times, because you know the coast of Somalia is going fucking crazy.
Yeah. Are they hired? Boy, this is fascinating. I know we're a Warhammer podcast, but this...
No, let's talk. Let's branch out. This is a pilot, guys.
Yep.
Horus Heresy and
maritime shenanigans.
Merchant Marine podcast.
Remember to retreat, the boat episode.
There's a ship called the Bunga Lilac. That's cool. I don't know why it's highlighted on me, but there we go.
Well,
Lord. Probably 'cause it's
get
in the middle of
lost
being
looking at
attacked
Vessel
by
Finder.
Pirates, or some emergency SOS signal is going out.
Navigate success, but they spelled navigate with a G and an 8.
Well, I imagine it's kind of like Kentucky Derby horses. Those names are registered, so you have to continually find new ways to say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Except boats don't have pedigrees, like no one's like, this was built from the whole of the Northumbria. Nope, take it away, don't want it. Shit's cracked, bro.
Less true than you would think, actually. But boats do have pedigrees. It's fun.
Oh, well.
Okay. Now you know.
Now you know. Welcome to the Big Machine episode. Titans and macro freighters.
That's a lot of boats.
Yep. Ships, actually.
That's what I was thinking. The Titans probably are not in the Suez Canal due to the fact it was Britain, and I guess I feel bad for
they
anybody.
outsource a lot of their manufacturing to China, and it would have come straight through the Suez.
Even the models now? I know some of the
fuck if I know.
I know some of the terrain, but
people are buying all their resin models from China anyway. They may as well manufacture from there.
All the cards that are going to have to come out with these weapon upgrade kits. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's all printed in China. Yeah, maybe.
They certainly wouldn't like. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Because I thought they were building all new manufacturing and stuff too.
I mean, maybe before Brexit and before the pandemic.
No. They were still doing it, but I'm sure it's not done. Well,
who knows?
Who knows?
Geopolitics episode.
We'll blame it all on the Suez Canal.
Yeah.
Much like the '68 Arab-Israeli War, right?
Thank you. Yay.
But you know what else we can speculate on? Horse Heresy 2.0.
Okay, so I haven't actually... This is largely the first time I'm hearing about it. I kind of saw it in passing, but I didn't pay any attention to it because I was hurtling down the highway. It's like
the rumor mongering of old, back in the day where we didn't have Warhammer Community.
Oh, are we just every month claiming that there's a new box set coming?
Yeah, where you would just browse the forums. Remember those guys? Remember forums?
Yeah. Everybody has an uncle that works for Nintendo. I remember.
But I guess there's something down the water that mentioned that, I don't know, we may be looking at an Age of Darkness 2.0, which would make sense, maybe? I mean, Age of Darkness has been around now, starting out as an expansion, but made its own way for the past couple of years now. It's probably due for a little refresh.
Yeah. I mean, most of the community agrees that there's things that 8th edition and 9th edition did well that Age of Darkness could benefit from, so...
I hear the opposite. I hear people jump off bridges if they go to an 8th or 9th edition.
Well, I mean, you can implement ideas from 9th edition without completely switching over.
Oh, I agree.
You reprobates.
I read somewhere that dreadnoughts will have wounds.
I'd be about it. If dreadnoughts were treated like
I've heard people complain about that for years, even before Age of Darkness.
Yeah, they really should be treated like automata. It's a fact. Everyone knows it.
I'm not opposed to the degrading weapon system gimmick 8th edition has. Just keep my vehicle.
We can just call it 9th edition now. 8th edition is kind of...
8th, 9th, they're all...
But at this point, 40K. Just call it 40K.
40K, yeah.
You can call it New K. Yeah.
New K.
But, man, just keep my vehicle facings, right? That's the important thing.
Yeah, bonuses to wound or hurt it.
Maneuver matters.
Yeah.
Maneuver matters in specialist
It still annoys me that you can fire a las rifle at a frickin' Land Raider, and there is any chance whatsoever that works.
Well...
But think about what a great story it makes at the end of the day when you guys are sitting at a bar. And
unless it's your Land Raider.
Yeah,
I think you'd still get a good laugh out of it.
Look, do you remember that Wordbearers trilogy book where they're flying in the Valkyrie and the heretics shoot a rocket at it, and by pure chance, the rocket passes through the passenger compartment of the Valkyrie and does absolutely nothing to anybody? And the guy yells out, awesome. The Emperor protects out the door, right? People love that scene. So if that scene is cool, then it stands to reason that your las gun exploding a Land Raider is equally cool.
Yeah, that militia guy just had just that much more faith in the Emperor.
Yeah. It's a proven fact that if you believe something enough, then it will manifest. And if you believe that your las gun can hurt a Land Raider...
And also, I think it's mathematically harder than rolling a 20 on a D20, so...
Something like that, yeah. They mathed it out, and it takes like 1,300 las gun shots to kill a Land Raider.
That sounds like faith in the Emperor to me.
Well, I mean, math.
I'm about
it. It's the same thing.
It makes a good lore story.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want though about things, the statistical likeliness of things. we've all played war games long enough to know that that's not a real thing. It didn't actually happen.
Dude, I've failed a 4-inch charge twice in the game, so it's cool.
Like, statistics are meaningless.
Yeah. Unless you're calculating the statistical likelihood that someone would block the entire Suez Canal with one boat, but...
Yeah, and you know what that is? 50% of the time, in any given pandemic year, the Suez Canal will have a blockage.
It just works.
Around the Cape, boys. Here we go.
All right?
Yep.
I really want to know if they're singing sea shanties about going over the Horn of Africa, like on those boats. They have
Only
to
the
be.
cool
They have
ones.
to be.
Only the cool ones.
I can guarantee you that that's happening.
Somebody on some boat is like, I know a song about this, and they're like,
There's
don't do
enough
it.
British merchant marines still out there.
Yeah. Well,
They're all friggin' putting a wig on the fattest guy on the ship, calling him King Neptune, and doing weird shit, Steven.
sailors are fucking weird.
Oh, Lord. Hey, Wordbearer's got some Praetor models.
Oh, fuck yeah. I remember these got teased or not teased, but revealed, I guess. Feels like forever ago.
Way back when. Yeah.
Way back. And it was not long after that I had said one day, innocently enough, hey, you know what would be really cool? A Legion upgrade officer, or a Legion officer upgrade kit. Mm-hmm. Like heads, shoulder pads, bodies, weapons, and stuff that you can just slap on any Centurion. And he's there. He's living his life. And boom, Wordbearer's Praetors. And they're so cool. I don't care what anyone on the internet says. You mad about Wordbearer's Praetor? Man, you're just going to be mad about a lot of things for the rest of your life.
What are they mad about? I don't think I've...
There's people are mad that, the I don't know how to pronounce it. Austin, what are those things that hang at their belts? The status markings? Turges? Yeah. People are mad that the Turges are, quote, going... and I quote, in unnatural directions.
Or fucker's ever sculpted anything in his life.
Or don't look like they're too angular, they're not round enough. Man, a whole lot of people who couldn't 3D sculpt their way out of a plastic bag have opinions and input on how to make these Wordbearer Praetors look good.
If they're not round enough, you know what you can do? You can find yourself a tiny file or an X-Acto knife, and if you're talented, do it yourself. If you're
if you're a real man, you would have fixed the model on your own.
I'm looking at it on the Terminator, and I don't know if it's just a matter of the way they painted him. I could see the angular stuff, but I don't know if it's a sharp turn the way they're making it out to be.
Turges aren't made of leather in the 41st millennium, right?
That's probably fucking orc hide.
Yeah, it's synthetic Turge made from the finest Turge priests of Turge Maker 37.
We will survive. We will carry on.
Yeah,
Sharp-edged
we will
Turges
endure.
or not.
Yeah. People are mad about, the fire brazier on the back of the Terminator, which, fuck you, that thing is cool. If you don't like it, cut it off.
And it's got little candles and everything, too.
Yeah.
This guy's got fire everywhere.
The biggest complaint... Yeah, he's actually a salamander Praetor.
I was about to say, you could probably do not too much...
the biggest complaint that people have is, these are 40K models, not heresy models. Shut up. Have you seen the Wordbearers lately or ever?
Yeah, in late heresy, things get weird.
Look at Argyle. Look at him. He has wings.
These can easily be a late heresy fucking Wordbearer.
I'm pretty sure it is late heresy, judging by...
Yeah, don't...
all those runes and stuff. There's
a bunch more runes going on. That one's got a fucking demon crotch piece. Guess what? At the Siege of Terra, Homeboy rolled up like this.
Yeah, and it was awesome. Everybody on the wall, they looked at each other and man, look at fucking double shotgun Colt Chizian name over there. That dude looks sick. And then they got immediately shot for sympathizing for the enemy.
Although I will say, it looks like the combi weapon on that Terminator. One, I love that it's on a strap. I'm not sure how you get that. Presumably he just breaks the strap.
Yeah, it's just mag.
Because he's a Terminator, so who cares?
Right.
But this is the first combi weapon I can remember seeing where the thing is side by side.
Yeah, which is common with the Terminator stuff. It would be nice if we had some...
I just don't own a lot of Terminators.
Yeah, the Terminators the weapons, they all are side by side, which would be pretty sweet to have an upgrade kit for that.
Just imagine him like reaching down, grabbing the grip, and just snapping that strap, turning around and melting some uppity Imperial Fist captain on the spot.
Yeah, and I'm also a great fan of plasma pistols that like
Have the
connect
power
back
cords.
to the
Yeah,
suit.
that's pretty cool.
Just makes me so
they
happy.
have interchangeable heads, and I don't like click through if you can and look at the helmeted head of the non-Terminator Praetor. It's so good. It doesn't have the transverse crest. It's got like the Mohawk crest, which are my favorite.
It's got a very old school style to it.
Yeah, the face actually of that helmet kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the faces on the helmets of the new Chaos Space Marine kits.
Yeah, right. Because this is the progression, right?
Right, and if
This
you're
guy
looking
200
at
years ago was in the plastic Mark III armor with absolutely nothing going on, and now he's fucking intense.
now he's a man. Look at him. Look at him. And there's the whole kit actually for the standard Praetor is kind of a throwback to Chaos Space Marines because the legs, that's an exact resin resculpt of one of the plastic Chaos Space Marine legs, just with Colchizian runes.
Really?
Like that banding that goes down the middle of the shin and kind of arcs out in that trident pattern close to the ankle. That's a Chaos Space Marine leg. That's it.
So you're saying they're being
is great.
lazy.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
Hey, that sword, does it have a skull and crossbones in it? Or am I just imagining, hey, I got to get the 360 view. Hang on, I got to...
Yes.
Oh, shit. Shit, son.
Yes, it fucks around not at all. Although, really, what I want to do is I want to take the helmetless head and just turn that into like a rogue dock for Necromunda.
Yeah, he's got like his head is stitched together with that big, huge augmetic. Oh man, these are so cool. These are so cool. And the Terminator has a cool like skull mask. Man,
Yeah.
I'm into it.
God, that
Yeah,
sword
God,
looks so cool.
That Terminator is just begging to be a Diabolist.
Yeah, well, Diabolists can't take Terminator armor, unfortunately.
Who am I thinking of? The Terminator plate with the big ass mace.
Shoot, the Nullificator. Nullificator Primus. The guy with the Volkite mace. Yeah, that's him.
That'd be
The
funny.
Demon
as shit.
Slayers?
Yeah, ironically.
Yeah.
Now, I said this earlier, and then you kindly
Although,
reminded
you know,
me.
if you got rid of really nothing. Actually, no. You'd have to get rid of like the shoulder pad with the book on it and file off a couple of flame insignia like on the magazine. But this could very well be that for any given legion, right? Because
Yeah.
I remember it specifically stating in its like little blurb that like, yeah, these guys are from any given legion, and like they figured some shit out, so they marked themselves with runes and go beat the shit out of demons. Like you could paint that guy up in Ultramarines colors, and he wouldn't be too far gone.
Hey, you're
Maybe
wearing
take the skull crotch
concentric,
part off and...
Yeah. Well, I'd actually keep that.
Yeah,
I'd
'cause
keep
there's
that
not
skull
any,
bit.
There's not any like stars of chaos on him. You know what I mean? Like
Right. Nothing that I
And
can
there's
see
it
directly.
actually kind of, if you were to green stuff in the little Colchizian rune on it, it doesn't look entirely unlike the Librarius symbol, just without horns.
It's true.
yeah. And honestly, you could even leave that rune there because like he doesn't know what it fucking means. It's just like the demon sees it and it chills out for like a quarter second. And I'm a
Now
freaking
the,
Space Marine and Terminator armor. That's all I need.
Yeah.
His Oath of Moment also now has a little skull stamp on there,
that is
too.
great.
It's
God,
looking
I
more
love
like a purity seal.
Yep. I love these models. There's a little nod to Primaris Space Marines, actually, on the non-Terminator guy. His
The power armor guy?
that sensor, hanging on his tabard.
Yeah.
Is just take that fire bit off, and that's a Primaris tabard. Like that's it. It's on the captain.
Hate it, burn it, done.
But definitely going to pick these guys up, especially if, as you mentioned when I made a comment on it. I said the only thing I don't like about these is that they probably won't be true scale. Like, they're probably not going to be bigger. But they might be, for all I know. The dude standing on a rock, he might have some extra height for that.
Yeah, definitely probably not Primaris sized, but...
No.
Like I said, my Dark Angels and stuff, I've noticed there's a slight increase in the overall general size of them.
Yep.
Subtle.
I wonder what kind of other weapons they're going to come with. Because personally, I think that Praetor should have a mace, like the Terminator does. But I like the sword, so...
You're just
you don't have any other weapons, I think.
I'm old-fashioned, and I think that all Word Bearers officers should have a big honkin' mace.
But what is your Praetor equipped with, anyway?
Paragon
Blade. Yeah, exactly.
But it's modeled like a mace.
Well, I got some Deathwing maces around here somewhere, Steven, so I'll trade you for that sword.
All right. I mean, you can have the sword, because every single time that I make a Word Bearer's officer with a Paragon Blade model as a mace, I have a small collection of the 8-pointed star mace head from the Dark Vengeance kit that the aspiring champion is rocking, and I slice that off and I put that on every single one of them. They're always there. And so good. So good. Not looking forward to painting all that trim, but, you know.
Just throw a wash up in those runes, you're good.
The gods giveth and the gods taketh away.
Indeed.
Yeah, just hit that bitch with contrast paint. Boom, done.
No, I'm old-fashioned. I use regular paints for my Word Bearers.
Yeah, you'll come around.
I do. I paint everything else with contrast.
But, speaking of contrast paints, I've been painting up that epic Dark Angels army.
Yeah.
And it's looking so good.
Just let me know when you're ready, because I've actually trolled the depths of the internet to find a few more guard infantry of the Baron Siege Masters variety, since I've got all these friggin' trenches. Now we can do some, because one of the things that the Baron and the Death Corps of Krieg can both take trenches as just like a thing they can buy for their army.
Nice. Yeah. So I got bases from Litco, which they also make stick-on magnetic bottoms as well, and they fit perfectly. And it just raised it just enough, because I got the thinnest MDF they had. And by adding that little extra bit for the magnet, it's like perfect grippable height.
Excellent.
So
excellent.
Have to be
like I said,
whenever
you're ready, Jesse.
Yeah, I get my first shot Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah, go get vaccinated, guys.
I'm going to get vaccinated.
Play games, get vaccinated.
I'm noting one other thing on this Terminator Praetor. He has a Prometheum line going directly into the back of his armor, which has lines going to the brassiere on the top and his mace. That's how he keeps him on fire.
Note to self: shoot him in the back.
Coward.
But good stuff.
Excited. I'm happy. I'm ready.
So there is one more fun thing I noticed on this: that half the candles aren't lit.
Huh, yeah, look at that.
Like, he had them all lit ceremonially by a slave that was no doubt executed moments later. But, like, he's outside and doing stuff. Like, a strong wind comes up and, it'll knock a candle out. And, he doesn't have time to relight. He can't even reach there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why he's got the lines for his mace and his brassiere.
It's the little details.
It's a sharp
realism,
wind,
right?
blowing the scourges around.
Yeah, people complain about, too many candles. How are they going to stay lit? Well, they don't, you big dummy.
No further questions.
Yeah, we give the internet too much airtime, guys.
I mean, technically, we do nothing but give the internet airtime. What do you want to do? Hand out cassette tapes to people?
Time spent per
Listen
volume
to my
making
podcast
this show.
mixtape.
Hey man, you want my podcast mixtape? No, I don't want your fucking mixtape.
See a close up of the Terminator's bear head. That thing looks pretty cool too.
Yep. He doesn't look. I really like the sculpt on it. Not the paint job so much in the picture. Not too crazy about, just because I don't really like the way GW paints hair. But I really like the sculpt of the bear head. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool, guys. Yep, I don't have Terminator Praetors because I don't really use Terminators all that much. But if I did, I'd pick this guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Times are changing, man.
Yep.
If the internet is to be believed anyway.
Well, you can't put it on the internet if it's not true.
Maybe it'll be the big Heresy summer release. The Summer of Heresy.
Well, maybe once all the Forge World guys get vaccinated, we're just going to see like a blitz of Horus Heresy releases.
The Hair Horsey.
The Hair Horsey. Alternate Heresy. The Hair Horsey.
But yeah, I think there are good things coming down the line.
Well, you have to believe that. Otherwise, what's the point?
Because I know overall there seems to have been kind of a slack in heresy content coming out, which obviously the pandemic, for sure. Mm-hmm. That's definitely a reason. But if, for speculation reasons, if you are going to be putting out a brand spanking new quote-unquote specialist game, would you be blasting new books and rules up until the last minute, then swapping over to a new edition? Don't answer that question.
I don't want to.
Fantasy.
I don't want to cast really sidelong glances at Warhammer 40K, but
yeah, maybe I sound like a dreamer, but yeah, the Book 9 Crusade book FAQ, wasn't super filling, but maybe it's because they're working on something else where it's like, you might not have to worry about this here in a little bit.
Well,
be a shame that I never got to play my $140 book.
Well, I don't know, because remember when they did Psychic Awakening for 40K, and then they moved over to 9th edition, they were like, hey, all your Psychic Awakening stuff is still valid.
True. And like most editions, the previous quote-unquote codexes and stuff are valid until they're replaced.
I don't imagine that even if there's a Heresy 2.0 in the pipes, that it's going to be so different that Book 9 is going to be, outmoded by it.
Though it'd be really, really good after years and years of different units and stuff all scattered through the different black books and stuff to have everything incorporated into one.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember they said that once they were finished with all of the legions, they were going to re-release the Legion Red Book.
I don't remember them saying
updated.
that per se, but it sounds familiar, so I'm going to say, yes, you're right. They did say that.
So, it wouldn't surprise me if we had a AOD version 2 come down the pipes, and then immediately after that get an updated Red Book with everybody's...
Yeah, or just...
with all these FAQs that they've been releasing collated into it. And
it would also be an excellent time if you were to, do a Heresy 2nd edition, right?
Mm-hmm.
To hit up all of those, hey, we promised you Demon Primarchs models, because you still need big splashy releases for Legions,
sure.
But everybody's stuff is already big and splashy.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do with Iron Warriors? Here's Demon Perturabo. Here's
still plenty of
snake.
Still plenty of Leviathan dreadnoughts that haven't been released yet.
That's the
true.
Loyalists only.
No, the Night Lord's got one.
They slapped a body on it and called it a Night Lord.
Traders get new Primarch models. Loyalists get
Leviathan dreadnoughts. No, they just get Super Saiyan Edition Primarch models. It's just Rogel Dorn, but he's crazier now. Yeah. He looks more haggard.
But, like people with Book 8, which I think has been out of stock for the longest period of time, where people just can't get a hold of it.
Yep, it's gone. Gone forever.
I mean, just saying.
Unless you can go to the Citadel in Dallas, at which point maybe there's some there.
Potentially.
Maybe?
I don't know, but I don't know. People may call me a fanboy, or I don't know. I don't care.
I mean, you are, and that's fine.
I am. I enjoy this game. Are there things that can be improved? Absolutely. But
no, nothing can be improved. It's perfect. Armor value for days. Wounds on automata. Hull points on dreadnoughts.
Yeah. I find my time is better worth spent not bitching on the internet. So, there we go. It's having a podcast with you guys.
And talking about the Suez Canal.
And talking about the Suez Canal. Well, folks, I think this will wrap up this episode, unless anyone had anything else to talk about.
I do have one more thing.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So I have a confession to make, gentlemen. As you and perhaps our listeners know, I don't listen to podcasts, and most assuredly, I don't listen to Warhammer-related podcasts. because I'm on one, and who would listen to it? Like who listens to these things? However, I do like blogs, and one of the blogs I like is by a guy called Brett Devereaux. He does a collection of unmitigated pedantry, and Brett has a PhD in history, and just knows far more than anybody should about like the Roman Empire and like the early medieval period and all that sort of stuff. And his blog is fantastic and does a whole bunch of crazy things. But he has also apparently done an interview with the guys over at Chapter Tactics, where they sit him down and are like, "Hey, this is," and I guess Brett also is like plays some 40K, Necromunda, that sort of stuff. And they were like, "Hey, man, what if we had you on and asked you a whole bunch of questions about the Imperium of Mankind, and you could talk about how that like compares to like actual empires throughout history, and like how much does like what a guardsman goes through as far as like to recruit and train and get stationed to all these different places, like what, like historically, what does that compare to, and all of this sort of stuff." And he talks about it for like an hour and a half, and it was super, super fascinating. Like, yeah, so if you're a history major, and I just want you guys to know, I know nothing about the Chapter Tactics guys because I don't listen to podcasts. So, like, don't think that this is a recommendation to listen to absolutely everything, because from what I gather, they're like a kind of hardcore 40K, this is how you win tournaments podcast. So this is like their one fluff thing that they did. But it was fascinating. It's their Chapter Tactics episode 194. So if you like history, if you like kind of the fluff behind 40K and seeing how that like works in real life and how it would work if it was real life, it's outstanding.
Nice. Cool.
Neat. Yep.
Alright.
We still have the Mechanicum rules up on rr30k.com under the Battlefleet Heresy Compendium. We're still accepting feedback from that. They're in a beta formation. So if you keep up with that sort of thing and you haven't taken a look at our Mechanicum rules yet, or better yet, if you haven't gotten to actually play them with your buddies, then by all means.
If you have played them and haven't talked to us about it.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah, tell us about it, do it, and then tell us about it. If you hate it, let us know.
To those who have sent us feedback, thank you very much. Definitely appreciate it.
Yep. That's all I have to say on the subject of Battlefleet Heresy.
Cool.
For now.
Let me roll into our socials. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Remembrancers Retreat. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at RR30K Podcast. You can follow our Instagram at Remembrancers_retreat. You can visit our website at rr30k.com, where you can find the Battlefleet Heresy Compendium, as mentioned by Stephen and Austin. And join our Discord server, where a link will be in this episode's show notes. And if you really enjoy our podcast and would like to support us, you can go over to patreon.com/RR30K podcast. And as always, we can't do it without the support of our wonderful patrons, starting with our Legion Praetors, Alex Self, Chris Mack, Jacob Dillon, Garner.Tree of Woe, Joe from Music City Heresy, Luke Rizzuto, Matthew Boyce, Mr. Baldwick, Nicholas Quenga, and Sar Luther. Our Legion Centurions, Aaron Maynard, Andrew N., Angry Boy, Duncan, John Christensen, M. Tanzer, Queen Corswain, Scott LeMay, and the original Applesauce. And finally, our Legion Sergeants, Agrippina, Emily O'Hare, Garrett Lowe, Matt Bolton, Mr. Sear, Nick Gillen, The Zoy, and What Do I Call Myself? Thank you all so much for your support.
Kiss, kiss.
Kiss, kiss. And with that, my name is Jesse. I was here today with Stephen and Austin. Have a good night. Y'all stay safe. And we'll get those dice rolling again here in the near future. Take care.
Goodbye.